I'm Andy Scott, I'm a sculptor, and you're in my studio in the northwest of Glasgow. I studied at Glasgow School of Art for 5 years. I did my degree and then I did a postgraduate diploma as well. And back in those days when you were at art school, you tried a little bit of everything. And as soon as I tried sculpture, I realised that was the method for me, and I was really taken by the materials and the physicality of building three-dimensional objects, and that was it. I was hooked.
Andy Scott has built a global reputation as an equestrian sculptor. His art is displayed all over the world, but he still lives and works in his native Glasgow. Perhaps his most famous commission, certainly the one that still creates the most comment, is the Kelpies.
The engineers of Scottish Canals wanted to create a landmark structure at the new canal lock they were planning over in Falkirk, Grangemouth area. And they had a title and they had a very, very rough idea of something. And they came to me because I was reasonably well known for having done a couple of horse pieces. And I took the title and ran away with it in a different direction and came up eventually with what you now see as the Kelpies. And they've proven to be extremely successful. It was a very complicated project. It involved hundreds of people. As I said earlier, 8.5 years, but it was, as I say, it's paid off and they've now become really globally recognised. It's been fantastic. The Kelpies title was dreamt up by one of the chief engineers, a chap called George Ballinger, and he had the idea relating to the Kelpies as Scottish mythological sea creatures up in the lochs and glens of the north. But when I looked at the challenge, I realised that was really so far removed from central Scotland. It was a different mythology, it was a different narrative. I was far more taken by the history of horses in, I guess, society. They would have, most importantly, they would have pulled the canal barges along the canal where the sculptures are sitting. But they also would have ploughed the fields, they would have worked in the factories, they were everywhere in those, back in the days of the early Industrial Revolution. And it was that idea of social history that I really wanted to celebrate, and the role that those big heavy horses played in building central Scotland, in fact all of Britain. So yeah, that was my motivation, slightly different from George's original inspiration, but nevertheless very successful. And a lot of people have asked me, why did we keep the title? But what started off as a working title eventually became, I think, quite appropriate. It allows people to make up their own narrative. And if they want to relate it to the mythological stuff, then that's cool, that's absolutely fine. But for me, much more to do with the heritage of horses in society. I guess maybe it's in my blood, being here in Glasgow, a formerly industrial city, maybe there's a bit of that. I don't know, I guess you're only, you respond to the briefs that are given by the client, and I guess I have probably, on reflection, done more of the heavy breeds than the lighter horses. But, it's something I've grown an affinity to, for sure, yeah. I mean, they're such placid, huge, powerful creatures, and there's something about them that I really relate to and enjoy working with them. I can't quite put my finger on why, but they're just part of us. They're a deep spiritual connection, and probably goes back to Stone Age times or before. There's an argument that mankind wouldn't have travelled the world from the nomadic tribes of the East without the horse. So, without getting into the deep social antiquity and archaeology of it, there's definitely a connection there, and I really enjoy working with that through the different breeds. And I love the way that people invent their own stories around the pieces. I might have thought of one particular source of inspiration for a specific horse in a specific pose at that location. And if the public get that, that's fine, but if they don't, oftentimes you'll find that they make up their own story or their own narrative, and that's a lovely part of the job for me. They think of things I could never, especially kids, will think of things I could never have thought of. And that goes some way to show the measure of the success of the sculpture. People relate to them. I try and do most of the work myself while my old bones will let me. And when I need to, I have a very good team of assistants and backup guys that I can hire in, and they'll help me out when required. As is often the case, actually, nearly every job I end up hauling in some other blokes to work with me. I enjoy the solitude of it in a weird way. I like being in my own headspace, listening to my music and just get on with it, but safe in the knowledge that there's a reliable team of backup to help me. With the very large pieces, of which I've done a few now, then often it's a case of involving other companies and fabrication guys. Kelpies just 2 weeks ago won the Saltire Award, which is a big civil engineering award here in Scotland. So I was absolutely delighted with that, I should say along with the Helix Park that they sit in was awarded, and that's a tremendous accolade for the project. And that and a couple of other projects, really it's a big team effort. I said to somebody the other day, I feel like the lucky centre forward who scored the winning goal. You know, I'm the focus of it, but really it couldn't have been done without a huge team of guys, and it's just been a fantastic project to be part of.
Centre forward or not, the horses at the centre of his art have also found a way to get under Andy's skin.
I think there's something to do these days with the way the environment is changing. We're all more environmentally aware, and horses, I don't know, it'd be nice to see them making a return in some aspects. I know that they've certainly got a more ecologically sensitive footprint than diesel tractors, but maybe I'm being fanciful there. Oh, it's absolutely stolen my heart. It's just amazing. I've only been on a horse once. It's a terrible thing to confess, but I've only been on a horse once, and mine is an artistic fascination, an obsession almost, that I just can't get out. You know, it's interesting because for a few years there I was kind of fighting it, and I was kind of trying to convince clients to do something else. Nowadays, nah. Anytime I can, I'll convince the client the other way and try and push it towards an equine theme. I find it so challenging, so enjoyable, and I find that the public relate to the pieces so well. They seem to strike a chord with everybody.